This week we read the second section of the Shema. Last week we read the first section of the Shema. The Shema, of course, has the number one creed of Judaism, the belief in the unity of Hashem, the oneness of Hashem, that there isn't more than one power in this world. And then the mitzvah of loving Hashem. And it says, V'aftas Hashem Elokecha, you shall love Hashem b'chol levavcha, with all your heart. Rashi tells us that the wholeness of the heart, which means, as he puts it, that your heart should not be divided against Hashem, which means that you shouldn't have in your heart complaints, basically, against God. You shouldn't, as the Jews, when the spies came back, giving them bad information about Israel, and the Jews became afraid to go into Israel, they actually complained near their tents, and they said, "B'sinas Hashem isanu," because Hashem hates us. That's why He took us out of Egypt. Wow. Hashem loved us, showed us incredible miracles, and we could say that He took us out because He hates us? Why? Because at that moment, they couldn't understand and they couldn't comprehend their situation. And so because of that, they saw themselves here. They're in danger to go into a land that they're going to be destroyed. That's what the spies told them. Well, if that's the case, why would God have taken them out of Egypt so they should be destroyed? It must be He hates us. And you know how the mind works. You see one thing negative, then you start calculating all kinds of reasons of why that other person did something negative, and all of a sudden they hate you, and therefore you hate them. That's just the way it works. So therefore Rashi tells us, no, your heart should not be divided against Hashem. You should recognize and realize always how much Hashem loves you. Indeed, Rabbi Kiva Eger explains, this is why, before we say the Shema, we have a blessing called Avos Olam. And the blessing says, Hashem loves us. You love us, you brought us close to you because you love us. That is the experience or the feeling or the thought process that you think about before you say the Shema. Because when you understand that Hashem loves you, then you'll love Him. And that's how we have to play the mind game. Our minds play with us. And when we see one thing negative, we tend to kind of pile on. Or as the word in English, projection. Why did the Jews think that God hates them? Because they hated Him. Why'd they hate? Because look, He's put us in this negative situation, in this dangerous situation. But we always have to remember that Hashem loves us. That's why He took us out of Egypt, and so on. And if we have that mindset, Hashem loves us, Hashem took us, gave us part of Himself. Hashem is close to us, and when we do His mitzvahs, we become the host for the divine presence. These mind games or these mind thoughts are what helps us have a feeling of love for Hashem. So love is not an automatic feeling. Love comes from perspective, how we use our mind. And when we contemplate the positivity of Hashem towards us, then we have a positive reaction, response to Him. Rabbi Aaron Karlin says, Yaakov Vayifka B'Mokim, he met his place, he came to his place. Says the Aaron Karlin, when we are in a place, we want to become comfortable with that place, so that we know, by becoming comfortable in the place we're at, that this is for the best of us. This is for our best. There's a rabbi called Rabbi Ben Sassan. It tells a story that when he was a little boy, he used to love playing soccer. And he used to always think during the studies, I'm going out for recess, for break, and we're going to play soccer. One day, as the studies conclude or come to a pause and they're going out to playing soccer, another boy comes to him and says, listen, my mother is in labor, and all I have is 4 sisters. And I want to say Tillam, I want to daven that Hashem makes this baby that is going to be born now a boy. So could you stay with me and daven with me? And he was a nice guy, and he did so. He davened with him that it should be a boy. Okay. They're davening, and towards the end, his father comes in and says, Mazel tov, your mother had a girl. Of course, that other boy was disappointed, but he was also disappointed. Here I was, gave away my soccer, so I pray to Hashem to get a boy for him, and instead there's a little girl. Fast forward some 15 years, he's looking for a shidduch, and he can't find one, and someone suggests a girl. Anyway, finally, he gets engaged to this girl, and he realizes the girl he got engaged to was the girl he davened for to be a boy. So Hashem knows what he's doing. Hashem has a plan, and he knows what he's doing. And even if right now we don't see it, he loves us. And that's how we have to view every event in our life. Every situation, every circumstance. If we only recognize and realize Hashem loves us, then we will say, sometimes we'll see why it's good, and sometimes it'll take us 15 years. But it's always for our benefit, because he loves us. And that's how, through having that mindset, then we will continually love Hashem. Good Shabbos.